Okay, here they come. I got a school coming towards me right now. See that school coming towards my jig there in the middle. There you go. You see just how subtle that bite was? It just a tap, and I wouldn't pick that up on a normal medium power rod. So, oh, that's a nice fish too. All right, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about spring bobbers. Now, you'll see on this is a custom tied rod that I had done by Thorn Brothers. It's a medium power rod, and I like a medium power rod for most of my Northwest fisheries because I'm targeting perch at depth with slightly heavier gear or trout, and these trout can get up to fairly substantial sizes, well over 20 inches. But I still wanted that ability to detect those really soft bites, those perch at depth, which is why I have this spring bobber. Now this is a titanium spring bobber. Titanium really is the best material out there. The reason titanium is such great material for spring bobbers is that it has very good memory. So it wants to return back to its original shape, but it doesn't bend as easily as stainless steel does. So it can really bend over, but still come back. It won't bend and stay permanently in that position. It wants to flex back to its normal position. This one is actually tied into the rod, so it's a little bit different than a lot of spring bobbers out there, and it has a little hot spot here at the end to help me detect the bite. Another thing that's nice about this spring bobber is that it has, and something I look for in all spring bobbers, is it has a fairly large eye. A lot of the aftermarket ones may not have that larger eye, and they tend to ice up more. So as I was saying, I really prefer these medium power rods for most of my Northwest fisheries, but I still want that sensitivity. And so here's like a normal medium power rod without a spring bobber on it. You can see there's just not much bend in it, and I'm really going to miss the bite compared to if I just barely touch that, I can detect it. But you can add aftermarket spring bobbers that actually just attach to the end of the rod. Now there's two styles that I've seen. They're mostly made out of stainless steel. So there's this flat steel like this, which works really well, but most of the ones that come with this have this tiny little guide on the end, and I don't like that. It causes this to ice up really badly, and I tend to have to be flicking ice off there all the time. And also another pain with this is that if I want to put my spring bobber on, I have to cut my lure off and then thread the line through here. So it's kind of a pain. How these attach is super simple. They have a little slot right here and a rubber piece. You can see that? And it just clips on to the end of your rod. You just push down, and then that creates the spring bobber. Now my favorite style is this style here. It has a long, skinny stainless steel wire, a big hoop on the end, a nice orange hotspot, clips on. This is really nice because then I can clip this on to my rod. And then I can just take my jig and I can just run the jig through the hoop. I don't have to cut anything off. And now I've got a spring bobber built into this. It's really nice. Oop, there's a bunch of perch down there looking at my gear right now. I need to get focused. Let's see if we can get one on that heavier rod with the aftermarket spring bobber. I've got the aftermarket spring bobber on here. I'm gonna send it down. I would never be able to detect these light bites on this heavy rod. I mean, this rod's built more for walleye. I got a bunch of fish coming in to look at it. Alright, so I got that hoop on there. Bunch of fish looking at it. There we go. Oop. I saw a nibble there. There we go. Got him. Nice. I tell you, time and time again, I'm out here and I'll be catching way more fish than everybody else around me, and it's just because I'm using a spring bobber. Now you can adjust that spring bobber back too. If you don't want that long wire sticking out, you can clip it in further back. You can even clip it in behind the first guide if you really want to shorten it up. So you can have it back there. You can even clip it way back if you aren't too worried about having a super sensitivity, or you want to be able to fight a little bit tighter to the end of the rod. You can go way back behind the first or second set of guides right there. And there you go. It'll just bend off to the side. I've seen some folks take the wire out of this mount right here and then run that through the guides just to give it a little bit more backbone on there, but it doesn't really affect the fight. Let's do another one. All right, here comes a big school. Oh yeah, I got a couple of fish coming in on it now. All right, watch this spring bobber here. Either it'll go down with the strike or lift up if they come up from underneath it. There we go. That was a down strike. Ooh, that's a tank. Look at that guy. There's a big school down there, so I'm just going to drop straight down into him again. Get another. There it is. Ooh, that's such a light bite. He barely saw that jig move. There you go. Another nice one. I think that's going to do it for me, but it just goes to show that you really can capitalize on those bites if you got a spring bobber. I'll put links to my favorite titanium and steel spring bobbers, some that you can tie into your rods and some that just clip on, in the links below. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comment section and I'll get back to you. And just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye guys.